In this video, we will discuss annotating pipe networks. If you'd like to follow on with this video, please open the file annotatingpipenetworks.twg located in the training folder as discussed in the Working with this Dataset video. Civil 3D provides many ways to annotate your pipe network objects in each of the different views, which are plan, profile, and cross-section views. Let's first look at how to add labels to your plan view. One way to add pipe network labels is to simply select one of your pipe network objects and navigate to the Labels and Tables panel. If you click on the Add Labels dropdown, you can select one of the Plan, Profile, or Section label commands right here. However, when you do so, you will not have the ability to select which label style gets used for each of the different object types. It is recommended to always use the Add Pipe Network labels in there. In the Add Labels dialog box, here are the different label types that we can label within Civil 3D. We'll choose Entire Network Plan, and let's go ahead and do our proposed pipe network. And for this one, we want Plan, Length, Description, and Slope. And then for the structure, we want Data Connected with Pipes Storm. Click Add, and notice how the labels come in automatically. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for our existing network, but in this case, let's choose the existing label styles. Click Add, and select any one of our pipe network objects, and you'll notice for these label styles, it's a little bit different, where we just list the actual object itself, not listing the elevations and so on. Let's look at our profile view. So let's scroll down to the bottom here, click the label type dropdown, Entire Network Profile, and for this one here, we have another label style called Profile, Length, Description, and Slope. And then for this one as well, we have a Data with Connected Pipes profile. Notice how these are in the same category, however, you just simply create new label styles depending on what you want to label within the profile. Click Add, select one of our pipe network objects, and we're good to go. Another way to label objects within a profile view is to use something called a band set. Let's say our profile view was too congested, but we still wanted to show the rim and infra elevations somewhere in the profile view. Select your profile view and navigate to the profile view properties. And in the bands tab, what you can do is you can add pipe data to a band, which will appear either on the bottom or the top of the profile view, depending on what you select here. So let's go ahead and add the infra elevations for a band style. So we'll click Add. We'll scroll to the right to make sure that we get the correct pipe network. We'll also add in the rim elevations. So we'll go ahead and add that. And again, clicking on the data source here, make sure you pick Storm-1, and then scroll to the left here just to make sure that the gaps are what you want them to be. In this case, we want a gap from the bottom of the profile view, but we do not want a gap between the bands. So we'll type 0, press Enter, click OK. And this is pretty cool because you actually have the labels on the bottom of your profile view, just enabling you to add them in another location within the profile. Lastly, you can of course add labels to your section view. Let's go ahead and change our label type to single part section, and all I want to do is label the structure. So let's go ahead and change this to a child label style that we have here called Data with Connected Pipes Storm Section. We'll click Add here, and we have the label as we want it to be labeled in there. To move any of these labels around in any of the different views, you simply select the label and then grip pick it. The same thing can be applied with the pipe labels. You simply select a pipe label, but with this case, you actually get a slide grip to slide it across the pipe object. And if you wanted to, you could of course drag it out and you would have that kind of label as well. Notice the grip here to add leader vertices to move around congested areas to still point to your object. You can define a default setting for the profile view. And if you go ahead and select this one, you'll notice that this one actually does not have a multi-leader. It simply allows you to move it, and you can move it out of place at the top of your structure object. And you get the same grips for the pipe object that you have in the plan view. Section view, same thing applies, just select your object and then move it around as you need to. Now, if a label doesn't say exactly what you want, or maybe you want to add a specific text within the actual label, you can do a label override. Simply select the label and click on Edit Label Text. Let's say we don't want to list the sump elevation for this label. We'll select the label component that we want to edit, which is the structure text, click OK, and we'll go ahead and simply get rid of it. Click OK, and now the label is updated. You also have the ability to add a table. So if we go to the Annotate tab, Add Tables dropdown, Pipe Network, let's go ahead and add a structure table. This of course uses a table style. Select the Structure with Pipes table. Let's not split the table, and we'll go ahead and pick our Storm-1 pipe network. Click OK, and of course this table will dynamically update if any changes are made to your pipe network. Lastly, the one thing I want to show is how labels will react in Paperspace. Notice how these labels are not aligned to the actual roadway. When you plot this plan view, as we have in our Paperspace, as with all sheets, you would rotate the view to match the tangent that you're currently showing within the Paperspace viewport. Notice how these labels automatically are adjusting to the layout's rotation. The reason we're showing this to you is when you make edits to your labels, it is sometimes better to actually do them inside the viewport. I would simply double click inside here, and then I would move things around as I need to, because this is actually how it will get displayed, not necessarily as it's appearing when you're in model space. So make your edits here, and that way you're assured the labels will go exactly where you want them to display within the viewport.